Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk, and we only have one thing on the docket today, and that's don't F with cats. Let's talk about it. The docuseries Don't F with Cats tells the story of one of Canada's most infamous crimes, the murder of Lynn June. Lynn was killed by Luca Magnotta, who courted internet infamy before the murder by circulating videos of himself killing kittens. Here's what you should know about the man who became the subject of an international manhunt. Magnotta was born Eric Kirk Newman to teenage parents in 1982 in Toronto. His parents later separated and have offered divergent accounts of his childhood. In the book she later co-authored about her son, Magnotta's mother, Anna Yorkin, described his father as a proud Nazi and an abusive husband and spouse. Testifying during his son's trial, his father described himself as suffering from schizophrenia, pinned the abuse on Magnotta's mother's family. Homeschooled until his middle school years, Magnotta was reportedly severely bullied when he eventually attended school with other students and later dropped out before earning his diploma. He spent his time in mental hospitals and lived in a group home. During a hospital visit, while he was still a teenager, Magnotta said he was experiencing hallucinations and was later diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. In one of his first documented crimes, Magnotta was convicted of fraud in 2004 for misusing a friend's credit card and amassing around $17,000 in charges. He began pursuing an unsuccessful career as an actor and model while working as a stripper, escort, and appearing in pornographic films. As part of what his sister would later describe as an effort to reinvent himself, he legally changed his name to Luca Rocca Magnotta. In 2010, Magnotta began posting online what eventually became a series of 3 disturbing videos. In them, he suffocated or drowned kittens and filmed another cat being eaten by a large snake. This is where Don't F with Cats begins its story in 2012. He murdered Lynn June, a 33-year-old computer engineering student from China, and released video online of himself killing Lynn and abusing his corpse. Magnotta dismembered Lynn's body and mailed his feet and hands to the headquarters of the Canada's Conservative and Liberal parties, as well as to 2 elementary schools. For the trial, Magnotta sat in the prisoner's dock wearing a gray sweater, dark pants, dark rimmed glasses. Luke Magnotta was arrested without incident at a Berlin internet cafe on June 4th of 2012, several days after Lynn's slaying. He returned to Canada a few weeks later, escorted by several Montreal police major crime detectives aboard a Canadian government plane. The process of selecting the jury took 8 days, with the court vetting about 1,600 people who are called to serve. Magnotta has been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and there is a history of schizophrenia in his family. His comments capped a stunning morning in the courtroom that began with Magnotta, 32, entering fresh not guilty pleas to 5 charges, including murder. The defense lawyers provided the jury with snapshots of Magnotta's life, including several visits to psychiatrists and a hospitalization in a psychiatric ward in Miami. Earlier, Crown Prosecutor Louis Bouthier told jurors he expects to show them the crimes were premeditated. The 2 words you should have in your mind while listening to the evidence are planned and deliberate, he stated. He also said they will see Lynn's last moments alive, images that were captured by a surveillance video at a Montreal apartment. Lynn's body was later found cut up. Hands and feet were mailed to political offices in Ottawa and schools in Vancouver. The rest of the body was found in the trash behind the apartment. His head was found in a Montreal park 1 month after the slaying. The jury was expected to hear testimony from 60 witnesses, including some from France and Germany, who were interviewed by Canadian authorities. Bouthier said that in the 3rd week of the trial, jurors will watch the so-called murder video that the defense has described as graphic, gruesome, and potentially upsetting. The first witness called at trial was Caroline Simoneau, a Montreal police crime scene technician. She was called to the scene after Lynn's torso was discovered stuffed in a fly-covered suitcase in the trash behind the low-rent Montreal apartment. Simoneau snapped more than 100 photos at the scene, going through trash bags and documenting the contents. Several body parts, 2 arms and 1 leg, were triple bagged and were among the countless items recovering from trash bags outside the apartment. Also recovered were a grinder saw, a hammer, and a screwdriver. There were also numerous personal items recovered, receipts, clothes, shoes among them. A torrential downpour on the day of discovery complicated the collection of evidence, Simoneau testified. Lin Jun's family traveled from China for Magnotta's trial, and his father, Lin Duran, offered a heartbreaking victim impact statement. "In one night, we lost a lifetime of hope," he wrote. "I had to come see our trial system to see justice done, and I leave satisfied that you have not let my son down. I had to come to learn what happened to my son that night and to leave without a true and complete answer. I had to come to see remorse, to hear some form of apology, and I leave without anything." Magnotta is serving his prison sentence in Quebec's Port-Cartier prison. In 2017, he married another convicted murderer inmate. In the Netflix series, police investigators and amateur web sleuths alike theorize that Magnotta, who was reportedly fascinated by serial killers, committed his crimes out of a perverse desire for notoriety and fame. And Magnotta has become infamous. So the documentary, Don't F with Cats, is super interesting. This is a documentary of obviously the capture of Luc Magnotta, but it all started because of the video that he put up regarding these cats being suffocated in one of those storage bags where you suck out the air with the vacuum. I think the significance of this documentary is not that it shows that Luc Magnotta was captured, but what it really shows is the power of the world that we live in today. That with the power of the internet, people who are curious, people who have internet skills can find information that sometimes the police know nothing about, have completely overlooked, or have no idea where to in fact look. These part-time sleuths on the internet truly do become true crime detectives, and that's what these individuals ultimately became, which led to justice for June Lin. Personally, I had never heard of this case in Canada until this documentary came out, but I found it fascinating, and I think people should watch it just to show the power that ordinary people have in solving crimes, not only here in America, in Canada, but around the world. But it also cautions us that we cannot jump to conclusions. In Don't F with Cats, there was an individual that they thought was in fact the person in the video when they didn't know who it was. This person received such pressure and public scorn, and who knows whether it was actually related, but he actually committed suicide. I think it shows not only that people can provide information and help police in their investigations, but it also shows what we've tried to stress here at Crime Talk, and that is that people must look at the facts, and you can't jump to conclusions if there's doubt, because we are talking about people's lives. We are talking about people's reputations, their livelihoods, and so you must be accurate in the information so that people are not wrongfully accused. My recommendation is go watch Don't F with Cats. It's a great documentary. I'm a big fan of documentaries. You get so much more information than you ever would about a story than you would ever get on the evening news. I highly encourage it. I enjoyed it. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching Crime Talk.